Root cause analysis. Root cause analysis is a powerful problem solving tool used by individuals and organizations to identify the underlying reasons behind a problem. By understanding the root cause of a problem, we can develop effective solutions that address the issue at its source rather than simply treating the symptoms. There are several techniques used in root cause analysis, including Pareto chart, five whys, and fishbone diagram. These tools help us to analyze data and information, ask the right questions, and identify the most probable cause of a problem. We will explore these three techniques and how they can be applied in real world scenarios. Pareto chart. Pareto chart is a useful tool for recording the reasons for failure of planned activities during the daily habits. We track these reasons and prioritize issues based on how frequently they occur. The Pareto chart lists the most repeating issues on the left-hand side and follows the Pareto principle, which states that 80% of consequences are due to 20% of causes. By identifying and addressing the most significant causes, we can eliminate 80% of the consequences impacting the project. For instance, let's take the example of engine overheating. We collected data on the causes and found that a damaged radiator core was the most frequent cause, followed by faulty fans, faulty thermostats, loose fan belts, damaged fins, and coolant leakage. We need to handle the radiator core issue first and conduct a root cause analysis to find out why it's happening and how to prevent it. Once we solve this issue, we can move on to the next most frequent cause. However, it's essential to remember that time is money, and investing time in addressing an issue should yield benefits. For example, there are three coolant leakage reports. You studied that, no problem. If you did solve the other reasons, that's okay. You had time, you studied for that, and you found out that the material that you use is, let's say, $50. And for not having this issue, you need to have $100 materials to prevent it. And the quantity that you need to purchase will cause you lose huge money. So you don't want to make the change. This is completely okay. It doesn't mean that you found out something and you need to get it done. Not at all. You will see what is best for you. You will analyze your circumstances and take the best decision for your business. Here, part a chart for reason for non-completion of daily activities. A table for reasons for non-completion is shown here. The data in the table is reflected on the Pareto chart. The reasons are shown in the chart from left to right, from the most frequent to the least frequent reasons. The root cause analysis should be carried out with the same priority from most frequent to the least frequent reasons. As can be seen, the material available to occur 15 times, and it is the first. The second and the third are the labor availability and material approval with 7 occurrences as shown in the chart. Accordingly, material availability matter is a top priority as it caused plan failure more than others. The next is either labor availability or material approval. Root cause analysis. In this discussion, we'll delve into the topic of root cause analysis and explore two simple tools, five whys and fishbone diagram. Let's take a look at some examples to gain a better understanding. The five whys technique is an iterative, interrogative process used to identify the root cause of an issue. Essentially, you ask why several times until you arrive at the underlying cause. While it's referred to as five whys, the actual number of iterations can vary. However, in most cases, it's usually around five. For example, let's consider a scenario that there's a puddle of water on the floor. We ask, why is there a puddle of water on the floor? The answer could be that the overhead pipe is leaking. The next question could be, why is the overhead pipe leaking? The answer could be too much water pressure in the pipe. Furthermore, we can ask, why do we have too much pressure in the pipe? The response could be a faulty control valve. Finally, we can ask, why is the control valve faulty? The root cause of the issue could be that the control valves are not on the maintenance schedule and have not been tested. The fishbone diagram is another useful tool for problem solving. It involves drawing a fish and placing the problem you're trying to solve in the fish's head. You then draw lines from the fish spine to various parts of the fish body to represent potential causes of the problem. By doing this, you can identify the root causes and develop effective solutions. For instance, suppose we place the issue in the head of the fish under the category of people, we list operators and shift workers. Under machine, we list the speed of the machines and RPM. Under environment, we list the humid atmosphere and climate and so on. Root cause analysis offers several advantages, such as identifying the real problem rather than just addressing the surface issue. Often, the problem we observe is not a real problem, but just the tip of the iceberg. However, by applying root cause analysis techniques such as 5 whys and fishbone diagrams, we can identify the root cause of the issue and find efficient and effective solutions. Other tools such as A3 problem solving can also prove to be useful in this regard. 5 why for idle equipment. Another 5 why example is for idle equipment at site. The surface reason that caused promise failure is equipment idle. But the question is, why the equipment is idle? This is our first why. The answer, because the contractor stopped equipment at site. The next why. Why did the contractor stop the equipment? Because the equipment is not able to excavate in full capacity. So one more level. Why is that so? Chisels of the equipment are not in good condition. The chisels should be replaced with new ones for full capacity production. Then, why weren't chisels changed before the stoppage? Why there was no proactive solution to this matter? The answer is because chisels are not available in stock. So this matter is linked with spare part availability. Question comes, why not available in stock? Chisels were available, but available chisels were transferred to another project due to priority of company. Why not chisel is delivered to project once the available ones were transferred from the project? Because local market is out of stock and it takes a long duration to procure from out of country. Now, the surface problem was equipment idle, but the actual reason is change in priority of the company as well as local market limitations for the specific spare part. Fishbone diagram for temporary equipment breakdown. Temporary equipment breakdown can occur unexpectedly, causing delays or interruptions in production or operations. There are many potential causes of temporary equipment breakdown, including regular maintenance, spare parts, poor method of operation, poor planning, uncontrolled circumstances such as sudden breakdowns, delays in maintenance of hired equipment, breakdown of hired equipment, and poor identification and coordination process. To help identify and analyze these potential causes, we can use a fishbone diagram. The fishbone diagram is a tool that visually represents different categories of potential causes. In the case of temporary equipment breakdown, we will start with the category of equipment and then add branches for each of the potential causes listed above. For the regular maintenance branch, we might identify sub-causes such as inaccurate maintenance schedule, inaccurate maintenance history, and delays in delivery of maintenance materials such as oil and spare parts. An inaccurate maintenance schedule can cause equipment to be overworked, leading to premature failure or breakdowns. Similarly, an inaccurate maintenance history can lead to missed inspections or parts replacements, which can contribute to equipment breakdown. Delays in delivery of maintenance materials such as oil, spare parts, etc., can lead to equipment running without proper lubrication and the spare parts that are not changed on time. This can cause the equipment simply to be damaged. By using the fishbone diagram to analyze potential causes of temporary equipment breakdown, we can identify the root causes of the problem and develop a plan to address them. This might include improving maintenance scheduling processes, ensuring accurate maintenance records are kept, and improving the delivery of maintenance materials to prevent delays. It's important to note that temporary equipment breakdown can have significant impacts on productivity and profitability. So it's critical to continuously monitor and improve processes to prevent future breakdowns. By using the fishbone diagram and engaging stakeholders in the problem solving process, we can develop a comprehensive approach to addressing temporary equipment breakdown and improving overall operations.